Joining me today, Tony Parrott, Executive Director of MSD. He has had so much work to do, and his team has been working 24/7. Tony, we had a chance to join each other the other day. We were watching some young people get scholarships. It was very exciting. And I told you that we talked about the rain and all that, and we had many callers that called in and know that you all are working as hard as you can. But when I think about that, you all are working with a huge system where a lot of it was made in the 1800s.
Right. You know, our sewer system is very old. We've talked a lot about our sewers under our cities were built in the 1880s. We have sewage treatment facilities that were built back in the 1950s. We have flood protection systems that were also built back in the 1950s. And so the issue at hand, particularly those vital systems that are now needed during this flood season, we have pumps that are 75 years old, and so when you run these systems, you're experiencing issues and problems that could lead to failures or catastrophic events in our community.
So I know that I think it was today, and I'm just kind of paraphrasing. The mayor finally said we got to bite the bullet and get it done. When you came here to Louisville, did you have any idea this is what you would be dealing with?
Well, you know, I think aging infrastructure is sort of a national issue. So Louisville is really not, it's not uncommon. I think we see it across the country. The issue is, I think a lot of communities have already started to invest in rehabbing their existing systems. So the one thing that I didn't expect is that we were so far behind here in Louisville. So that's why we've been talking over the last 2 years about the need to reinvest in our systems, and we've identified all of those risks throughout all of our system, and we've been having community conversations and discussions with stakeholders and also political leaders on why we need to do it.
Okay, so what's that look like, though, for those of us who are everyday folks in our home that want to drive around a city that's safe without this flooding?
Well, you know, basically, as relates to the community, we want to make sure that there's additional resources available to deal with inland drainage and stormwater issues. There's a lot of communities, not only just in the downtown area, but in the east end of Louisville and everywhere, where drainage is becoming a problem because we're seeing more intense rain events. And so this was the wettest February in history. And the intense rain events, I think at one point we were seeing 6-inch rain totals in an hour throughout Jefferson County last weekend.
Way too much, even if we had an upgraded system.
Right,
way too much.
Way too much. But we have the ability, as we did between 1997 and now, we did build inland basins that actually was about 1 billion gallons of inland basins that have reduced the amount of impact on properties compared to 1997. But the real critical issue from our perspective during this flood season is the flood pumps that actually pump water out of the city. Over the last 3 days or so, we've pumped 24 billion gallons out of the city. If you can imagine that.
No, we can't imagine that.
24 billion gallons out of the city. And also putting up floodgates to make sure that the river doesn't enter into the city. So our crews have been working 24/7. I can't say enough about the MSD staff and the dedicated professionals that reacted and really responded very well to keep the community safe.
All right, we knew this time would go fast, but just last 2 questions here. What do we need to do to help you as citizens?
Well, I think number one is to be open-minded in terms of where we are in terms of the vital assets and how these assets really protect public health and safety, and they're important to the resiliency of our city. And I think you need to go to LouisvilleMSD.org, read up on our critical repair and reinvestment plan that is available, and also talk to your Metro Council folks, because they need to support this. We need your help, and we need Metro Council help to be able to continue the work that we do at MSD.
All right. Anything else you need to say, since I know you're going to be busy when you leave? Did we miss anything?
Well, I think that, you know, just know that MSD is going to do what we do every day. But when the floodwaters go down,
Cleanup.
There's cleanup, and then there's issues of how do we deal with those properties that are impacted. But you know, we want to make sure that everybody knows that if you have an issue,
Yes.
call us and we will address it.
Okay, we thank you so much.